Okay, this is like the hardest subject to explain. I'm going to give myself one joint to try to explain it. Nick Reiner. When I had heard that Nick was in the news, somebody had said something happened. I'm like, well, I've heard his name about a dozen times because he is the subject in my documentary. I had heard of at least, 12 kids tell me, 12 survivors of the troubled teen industry tell me that they went to a facility with Rob Reiner's son, with Nick Reiner. It's not just one place either. I know it's Second Nature, and there's a couple other ones, because there's a couple in Utah that he went to, but I know they spent a lot of time in Second Nature. That's a CEDU school, by the way. It's a NATSAP-approved troubled teen industry school. Rob Reiner made a movie called Being Charlie with his son to explain the troubled teen industry, because Rob Reiner understood what he had done to his son. There's a part that Rob said in it, or Carrie always said, he said, I was willing to believe anybody with a degree and a desk over my own child about, what was good for my own kid, right? We don't go back. I listened enough to the Dopey podcast that Nick Reiner was a part of. I've listened to hours and hours of the Dopey podcast to learn that Rob Reiner had forced Nick Reiner into rehabs over 30 times in his life. If you're a rich kid and your father is paying for your everything, and you have to be sober to be part of that family, you have to be straight-laced, you have to be a certain way or else you're not accepted, that means that's your whole life, right? So his whole life was based on being sober, basically. He went through 30 full fucking rehabs. 30 forceful institutional, he had to go through at least five or six troubled teen industry facilities. And the last one he was at, he turned 18, was in Utah. Utah is the epicenter of this shit. The only reason Rob Reiner thought that the places that he was sending his son to is because it was okay? It was because it was covered by insurance because of fucking NATSAP, by people that I knew in the 90s. People that I knew in the 90s perpetuating this lie that they can save children, that they love children, that they know better than their parents what is good for their kid, that maybe they have reactive attachment disorder, which is bullshit. It doesn't fucking exist. It's basically like Stockholm syndrome. It's a non-existent fucking word. It doesn't exist. Callow is a school that's pretty much made up of everyone there has reactive attachment disorder. It's called RAD. It's a made-up disease that basically, if you're adopted and, you don't ever, love your parents because maybe it just doesn't feel right, that's your fault. So it's doesn't put the fault on the parent, it's the kid's fault. There's a disorder on the kid because obviously that kid is broken. So they have RAD. NATSAP is a corporation that was made by people that I knew, and they just gave all these names to diagnoses that kids don't have, so that insurance will perpetually pay for them to stay in all of these facilities all over America. A lot of them have to do with Utah. And Nick Reiner was a big part of them. Nick went to all NATSAP affiliated fucking facilities when he was under 18, from what I've looked up. And he's recently in the news, and I just wanted to make a quick video while smoking a fucking joint, because forced institutionalism doesn't fucking work. And what I think what happened is that based on, based on the fact that, he was gonna have to go to rehab again. That's the whole thing is, he was at a party and, he was trying to, his dad he was there because his dad was gonna send him to rehab again the next fucking day. No shit, his fucking dad didn't wake up the next morning because we don't want to go back. We were fucking forcefully fucking institutionalized. It doesn't matter if it was his own good. It happened pretty crazy. But when you've been brainwashed by a side project of the fucking CIA that it's an embarrassment, you've been brainwashed by, like, we all came from Synanon. Synanon's a cult. Like, what, like, the therapy that fucking Nick had to go through, he had to probably first confess to a whole bunch of shit, with whether he did or didn't do. Nick had to regress to childlike states multiple times in all of the different facilities that he went to. So he would have to have disassociated enough so that, like, he would be talking in, like, mommy and daddy terms for a period of months. And then he would be forcefully bonded to all of the people that he was in this facility with, in brothers keeper situations where he would have to snitch on people. And if he ever saw people doing something bad, he would have to tell on them, or he would have to get punishments as bad as the people that doing those things. That's just like the first few months of the shit that he would have had to do if he went to one of these NATSAP, affiliated places. That's what this fucking programming is about. So, yeah, I just, when people are, like, talking shit about Nick and they're, like, saying, like, he's a sociopath, his father sent him to enough places that of fucking course he's gonna have problems now. So, I say, I see you, Nick. Everyone's gonna talk shit about him. Oh, why? Because his dad made fucking some movies that you really like? It's great. Like, I understand. He did, yeah. I mean, he made fucking Spinal Tap. I'm a musician, so, everything goes to 11 now because of his dad. But it doesn't fucking make up for the fact that he forcefully institutionalized his kid 30 fucking times in his whole life. It just doesn't. So, I see you survivors. Bye.